Morning, all. Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers mental health and life from a mental health perspective. What does that mean for somebody who's new to this channel? Basically, I don't know what it means. It just means that I have worked for several years as a peer counselor, and my perspectives are shaped based on a combination of my life experiences and also the things that I've experienced out in the field, out in my line of work. So it's Monday. I kind of like this pocket that I have found on this channel recently because the way how I'm doing my channel right now is kind of similar to what I was doing on my other channel called Music and Mental Health. If you're wondering why I don't really post much on there anymore, it's quite simple. They took away the monetization on that page, so I just considered it almost a waste of time to keep posting on that channel when I do have a monetized channel, which is this one. So that's my explanation for that. Let's see. Some thoughts that I have on this Monday morning. Oh, I'm so upset that my intro made me forget my initial thought. I had something. Okay, it came back to me. Hi, Jackson Wilson. Pretty much, for many years, I have read books, I have watched videos about what it takes to be successful. And in more recent years, my favorite football team is the Cowboys. In more recent years, I've watched people's social media posts and different videos that people create. This is how I became successful at this, and this is how I became successful at that. And I've tried to use the different tools and the different tips that people give for succeeding. Go Vikings. And I've tried a lot of things and found that a lot of those things that I've tried have worked minimally. They've worked a little bit to an extent, but it's been kind of minimal success experience using these tools. I realized that the bigger thing is persistence. Like, for an example, I've said on my membership page, for those who are members of my channel, I've been trying to set up this interview with Cara Maria. I think that I started trying to set that up since, when was it that I first met her? I can't remember the exact month, but I want to say it was maybe August or September or something like that. September, October, November. Yeah, I want to say it was possibly sometime in August or September that I first met her. And I said, I want to secure this interview. So I met her, I brought her that gift of those stars. I think I got a cameo from her not long after that, because it happened to be my birthday not long after that. And I've asked her a few times. I said, hey, you think you can lock in this interview? She said she was busy. She said she was traveling. And, I believe that. I mean, she has a busy schedule. She travels a lot. But you have to get familiar and comfortable with hearing either no or not right now. I think a better example was Wes Bergman. Wes Bergman, I had spoken to for a while about a variety of different things, including business. And eventually I said to myself, it would be really cool to ask Wes for an interview. So I reached out and I was like, hey, Wes, do you think that we could do an interview? I would love to be able to interview you, whatever I said. Here's some examples of some previous interviews that I've done. He said, I would absolutely love to do an interview with you. However, there's going to be a minimum of about 3 months where I know that I'm going to be very busy working on my show, my business. So I am not going to have the availability. So if I had taken even that first not yet as a let me stop trying, this interview wouldn't have happened. So I waited the 3 months. I reached back out to him. I said, hey, Wes, I'm just checking back in with you to see how your scheduling is looking like. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I know I told you 3 months, but this quarter is also very busy for me. So if you could give me like another month and then ask me again and I'll see what I could do. Long story short, this back and forth between Wes and I happened for almost a year, and it taught me a lot. Because the first time he told me to wait, I was like, I'm just happy he even said that he would do it. The second time he told me to wait, I was like, is this guy playing games with me? The third time, I was like, okay, there's no way. He could have just told me no. So if he really just did not want to do the interview, he could have said no. I don't think he would have had a problem doing so. I think his schedule is just legitimately hectic right now. So I have no choice but to just keep knocking on the door until the door finally opens. And then, funny enough, when I finally did get the interview with him, he was like, I'm so sorry that I've said no to you this many times. He said, I still don't have a convenient time to do this interview. But he said, I have meetings all day, but I have an hour break in between 2 meetings. So he said, if you can meet at this exact time in between these 2 meetings, then we can get it done really quick. I don't know Sydney Sweeney, so I can't answer that question. So that was an inconvenient time, but I actually got that done. Another interview that took a while to materialize, Alyssa Lopez. That was a back and forth for at least 2 or 3 months before we locked that in. My interview with Ayana. And the other part about it was there was no exact formula for me to get these interviews. Because, I mean, maybe for some, I always say this, maybe for some that have industry connections or bigger platforms where you just know the platform, like if Rob Has a Podcast reaches out, they're going to be like, oh, Rob has a podcast. I see an opening right here. So for a platform like mine, 1 second. Where they don't necessarily have anything to gain, anyways, a platform like mine where they don't necessarily have anything to gain. You just basically are selling your personality at that point. You have to go above and beyond to explain who you are, what you're about, what your page is about, what your goal is in the interview. You have to basically sell them on who you are and the reason why you want to do the interview with them. So I guess a summary of what I'm trying to say is, I would say that most people's success formula is 20% the planning, the preparation, the blueprint, but I feel like it's 80% the persistence. What do you do when everything that you put down on paper doesn't go how you thought it would go? Because as an example, I really thought that it would be easy to get interviews. And the reason why I thought that is because before I even started reaching out to people and saying, can you interview with me? I typed in on YouTube. I did a lot of research on YouTube. By research, I mean, if there is somebody that I wanted to interview, I looked them up on YouTube and saw who has interviewed them before. And I saw podcasts with 1,000 subscribers, 500 subscribers. I saw some interviews that, quite frankly, I didn't even think were good interviews. And I was like, I guess this era makes it easier for you to secure these interviews. Well, I wouldn't say the era makes it easier to secure the interviews. But it does make it so that you know that you have a way to contact the person, either directly or indirectly. Either directly, if there's someone who is responsive to DMs or emails, or indirectly if they're like, this is my manager's contact information, reach out to my agent and do the negotiation with my agent, which normally means no. Because honestly, when you're talking to one of these social media influencers, which by social media influencers, I mean reality TV stars, because a lot of them go on to do social media influencing. When they tell you to talk to their manager, typically that just means, no, I'm not really interested. So I consider it a no when I hear that as a response. So that's my message for the morning. Please make sure, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to find out when I drop some more great content. Happy Monday.